collective reading time. How are you? I hope you're doing well. This is a general reading. It's also a timeless reading. Whenever you're guided to watch this reading and it resonates for you, then that's the message for you in that moment. So far we have repetition. Let me take this there. Underneath that we have resurrection. I'm going to leave that in there. Okay. Explore options. Feeling different. Okay. All right. Okay. Interesting. So, your overall energy right now is repetition. So you've been dealing with some sort of repetition. You've been dealing with some sort of recurring cycle. The big general consensus for the collective that we've been talking about recently has been, in fact, closing out some major cycles. And I know that sounds cliche at first, you know, here we go, closing out a cycle yet again, 111. But this time it's a little different because there really is just an energy of closing out a cycle right now, okay? But they're closing out the cycle because it's been something that you've been recycling through over and over and over again. You keep repeating the same cycle, or you keep coming up across this same circumstance, this same relationship circumstance or situation, patterns, routines, habits. This card says sometimes in order to move forward, you must repeat situations in order to learn important lessons. Well, the reason why the cycles are closing out this time is because you're learning the lessons through, believe it or not, the repetition. Okay? So, what's going on for the collective right now is we have a golden moment available to us, and this really is timeless, okay? Yes, this is an energy of going through a portal because two of the images here has a sort of archway that you're moving through, right? And even before I was looking at this golden moment card, I was looking at this repetition card and seeing kind of moving down that hall, moving through those different archways that you see all the way, lining that back here. And then I was pulled to this card where we have that one final archway, the golden moment. You've been moving through this, cycling over and over and over and over again, and see how all the different archways that you could go through here. Well, you're finally reaching that final one. Once you cross through this archway, you're no longer going to be repeating this cycle again. Here's your golden moment. All right. And again, this truly is timeless. Okay. Yes, you could say this is going through a portal, but it's not like this portal closes on any specific date. And it's really not even about this portal closing. This portal has never actually been closed to you. It's always been there. It's always been open. You just have not been aligning with it properly to reach the end, to reach this final pathway, archway, doorway. Okay? So you're passing your golden moment of being able to cross through this situation and never have to realign with it again, 333 on the counter, is in fact approaching. You are approaching it. Okay? So the message here for you is you need to start exploring your options, or at the very least, maybe this is confirmation for you. Maybe you're not looking for guidance on what to do. Maybe you're looking for confirmation in what it is you are doing right now. And so it could go either way. Either this is guidance for you, so you need to be exploring your options at this time, or this is confirmation that you are in a sufficient mindset to be able to explore your options sufficiently and effectively. No matter where you find yourself on this, whether this is guidance or confirmation, the fact of the matter is you being open and willing to explore your options in this way is leading you towards this golden moment. This is the key. This has been the key. Changing your perspective this whole time. Changing the way you are perceiving of the situation. And that's been the big recurring theme here for this collective shift, this collective movement at this time through this portal. This is happening, or this is possible is made possible because of the way you are able to see this from a different perspective. It is very much, this again may sound cliche, but it is very much seeing it from a higher level, a higher wisdom standpoint. You have graduated, elevated, ascended to this higher energetic level, this higher level and space of self-awareness that gives you a more of a bird's eye view of this situation. Or at the very least, you have reached a level of wisdom, you have reached a level of opening and understanding and awareness to be able to look at this situation or this recurring cycle, whatever it is you've been repeating, and to start to make the connection, start to see why things are happening the way they are, starting to understand the reason why you needed to go through this time and time again, over and over and over again, too, because you're starting to see the lesson in it. And from that perspective, you are able to sufficiently explore your options so that you can navigate your way towards this end goal here, 555 on the counter. Okay, 555 has been a huge number for this cycle. All right, and keep in mind, we've been talking about this extensively over on Patreon. So this is, if you're resonating with this, and if you're resonating with the recent messages that I've posted here on the channel, then this is your story that we're talking about here over on Patreon. Okay, so I highly recommend, if you would like deeper guidance, if you would like more guidance in terms of this, more confirmation in terms of this, check out Patreon, patreon.com/divine conversations. The link can be found in the description box below. Okay, so what to do then? Because this is where you're heading, golden moment. This is what's getting you there, or this is what's opening the path for you, showing you the path, showing you the way, illuminating the path for you, this exploring your options energy. What's driving that then is feeling deeply. You must be allowed to feel deeply. You must allow yourself to feel deeply. Overall energy, you do have bad gossip here. So for some of you, active steps to take right now would be to be willing to feel as deeply as you need to. Be willing to feel things about others or about the situation that you may not have wanted to feel in the past. You may not have been allowing yourself to feel this way about this person or about this situation in the past, which has hindered your process or progress, you could say, in terms of leaving this situation behind or letting it go. So this is something that's near and dear to you. This also may be a belief about yourself or a belief about reality that you were heavily attached to. You're being asked to feel everything that comes up and acknowledge it at the very least, and give it the due process to understand whether it's a legitimate concern or not. But what I feel like here, for the most part, there are some legitimate concerns here that you have been actively avoiding because it's toxic. This could for example, this could quite literally be you have certain friends in your reality that you have some sort of strong attachment to that makes it difficult for you to sever this connection, release this connection, walk away from it, move away from it. And in your face, they're all mushy-gushy besties, you know, we love you, what, rah, 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 but behind your back, they're talking shit. I mean, it doesn't have to, I don't think it's that literally. It's a little more subtle than that, but that's a way to describe it. Take it as it resonates, okay? This bad gossip is giving energies of toxicity, negativity. And between explore options and feeling deeply, something here is telling me, for someone at least, that they need to be willing to accept the fact that some of these connections that you're holding on to are not what they seem. And that did come out in a Patreon reading today. Things are not as they seem. But you need to be willing to allow yourself to perceive that, you know? Maybe there is a chance that it's not what it seems, to the point where, you know, they're actually trying to harm you or actually gossiping about you, but I don't know about that. The fact that it's coming through, chances are this is a situation where it's like you thought this was on your side, in your corner, but really it's working against you. And the reason why you're still repeating it is because you have a habit of not recognizing or not acknowledging when something is toxic or detrimental to you, and that absolutely is a learned behavior, a trauma response, early childhood trauma response or whatever. So for some of you, this cycle absolutely has to do with self-worth and allowing yourself to be worthy enough to release some cycles, some drama that is hurting you, harming you, tarnishing your name. There is some sort of strong emotional tie to this that is keeping you from severing or moving on, that is allowing you to separate from this. It definitely feels like guilt and or shame that could have been learned as a child. This could be, and I'm getting a learned behavior from a codependent parent, really, who may have already passed, but they're kind of like a legacy that they left in life was this dependency energy. And so you, the person here that this message is intended for, have developed a habit of putting yourself on the back burner, of not severing ties with people who are toxic to you because of that initial shame core wound, that core wound surrounding shame and guilt, and which has led you to a lifestyle, somewhat of a lifestyle of neglecting yourself over the needs of others, especially if this person has their claws in you some way, or this situation has its claws in you some way, like it, whether that be emotional ways, mental ways, physical ways, through financial stuff. Maybe this is a job, a business situation, whatever. Okay? And feeling deeply is also asking you to connect into your heart and feel deeply what it is you're truly feeling, or how it is you truly feel, or what it is your heart has been guiding you to do in terms of this situation. Sever things or adjust things, redraw boundaries, redraw lines in the sand somehow to better benefit your health and well-being. And whatever it is you're trying to sever ties with may turn around and then call you selfish for that, but how are you going to be able to show up, be the best for others, if you're not able to show up and be in your best energy to begin with? Because you've got vampires coming around and draining you of it. You know what I mean? Like, go ahead and let them call you selfish. Let it call you selfish. It doesn't fucking matter. You're being selfish. You're taking care of yourself. You're damn right I'm selfish when it comes to that. But also at the same time, on the same token, I don't need to stand here and defend my righteousness. I don't need to stand here and proclaim what I do in my living, in my lifestyle, how I live my life, to offset that element of me being selfish for myself. I don't need to do that. I don't need to justify anything to you, because I know in my heart who I am and what I bring to the table and how I show up in this world. And that speaks for itself. If you want to stand there and question me, you could do that until you're blue in the face. It's not going to change anything. You're just wasting your time, your breath, your energy, whatever. But hey, do you, boo. But you know what? I'm going to go this way. Catch you on the flip side. You know what I mean? Anything you want to say? The world. Yeah, the world has been coming through a lot in the deeper readings. This is a big change in cycle. Yeah, okay, and that's crazy because the Hierophant came through today in the Patreon reading. So the big message right now is one of perseverance, because where the collective is right now, the collective is in this energy of these cycles closing out, like I said, and I know it's cliche, you guys, I know, but this is the truth. This is what's happening right now for the collective. We're in this big cycle of closing out major toxic, repetitive, low vibrational karmic cycles. And the reason why we're closing these cycles out is because we've paid our karmic debt. We've been doing the work, or you've been doing the work here of self-awareness, self-mastery, Three of Pentacles, self-improvement, whatever you want to call it, soul searching, spiritual ascension, whatever you want to call it. You've been doing this self-mastery work. You've been working on self-mastery here. And what you really need to do is just persevere right now. Okay, you have the world energy with the Three of Pentacles to the Nine of Wands. You really just, it's really just about perseverance. Just keep going, just keep pushing. I was just talking about this. We were just talking about this in the Patreon reading today. It started with the Hierophant energy. And the Hierophant did not come out in the cards, but the energy came through 555 on the counter, to the point where I was feeling this push of Hierophant energy, and it was showing up, translating as the Hierophant card in my head. There is an energy of making laws for yourself. The Hierophant is representing like a rule book or a manual, a guide to working with you or interacting with you in terms of who you align with or what you align with energetically throughout existence in the universe. Okay, you are setting these rules, these laws. This you can think of setting yourself up as an institution in terms of universal energies. Does that make sense? Like, your being is solidifying its own personal spot within the cosmos as a sort of institution, where there are bylaws, there are laws, there are guidelines of interaction. You will accept this from the universe and whatever, and you will not accept this. You will accept this, you will not accept this. And these are rules that energies have to abide by in order to gain the privilege of accessing your existence, your being, your energy, your attention. Okay? That is what this Hierophant energy is. It is, I'm literally I'm hearing, it's the guidebook. Okay? In terms of how the universe will interact with you. You are setting up these laws. You are actively doing that at this time. How are you doing that at this time? By placing the proper boundaries where they need to go. So, what does that mean? Feeling deeply into the situation and exploring it enough to see it for what it truly is. For many of you, it's going to turn out to be a deceptive situation that you need to run from. But you have to be willing to accept the fact. You have to be willing to accept the fact that that actually could be the reality of this situation. It starts there, right? So that's why you need to persevere with the self-mastery work that you've been doing. Okay? Now, the message in this reading is coming through from the perspective of someone who is just starting to open up to this cycle changing out for them. If you've been following me and this collective and this channel for any length of time, especially if you're on Patreon right now, we have been talking about this for weeks. You and I have been, if you've been on the Patreon collective. Even if you have just been on the YouTube collective, but you've still been following along, we've been talking about this for weeks, okay? So if you're just now aligning with this is resonating with you right now, then these messages have been for you lately. And so you want to look at the available videos that are in close proximity to this one on YouTube to start to put the pieces together. And if it's really starting to align with you, then I highly recommend you check out Patreon, because this is the type of thing that we talk about over on Patreon constantly. Okay, this is the yes, the stories will shift, the messages will shift, so we're focusing on something new later or at a different time. Okay, but this is the type of thing, and we really go through this. All right, So if you're resonating with this, I highly recommend you check out Patreon. Patreon.com/Divine Conversations. The link can be found in the description box. Belowski. Yeah? Cool. That's it for now. I love you guys. I hope you have a fantastic day. And I look forward to connecting with you again very, very soon. Yes? Cool. Bye.